Hey everyone, this is Reaching 8 with just a little bit of a preamble before we get into this episode of the Summoning Circle. This one's going to be way different than what you're used to, but I really hope that you enjoy it. The backing footage here is going to be some Halo Infinite, probably just me messing around on BTB, so nothing exceptional. I figure that most people are going to probably listen to this with their phone in their pocket and some headphones on or something. If you do see the footage and you want the weapon charms that are on some of my guns, we're doing a giveaway on Twitter right now. Our Twitter handle is TheyAreZodiac. Just check the pinned comments. There's not too many entries right now, so you'll have a good chance of winning that giveaway on our Twitter. Just keep in mind that neither me nor Danchi are super experts on what we're talking about. This is just sort of a conversation between friends that have an interest in the subject. So it might be kind of shallow for some. It might be really deep for others, depending on what your level of engagement is with spiritual subjects, occult subjects, and stuff. So your results may vary there. And just keep in mind that this is not health advice or life advice from either me, Danchi, or Cult Zodiac. This is just sort of a conversation between two friends about mutual shared interest. With no further ado, please enjoy. All right, so we're back with another episode of the Zodiac Summoning Circle. This one's going to be way different than what you guys are used to. Still going to be kind of a long-form podcast format, but instead of being sort of a roundtable discussion with all the Zodiac competitive guys, this one's going to be a one-on-one conversation with another creator in the space, Danchi, who I know, and we're into some similar shit. So I thought that we could just have, a bit of a conversation and talk a little bit about Halo and some of the events that have happened, but also get into some deeper subjects, especially to do with spirituality and other topics in that space. So, Danchi, I don't really think you need much of an introduction, especially with some of your recent montages. But, do you want to give a little, briefing for yourself if someone's been living under a rock for a bit? What's your history with Halo and, doing videos and stuff on YouTube?
So I've always loved Halo. My gamer tag is Danchi. Um, the reason why my gamer tag is Danchi is back in the day I used to go by Danimal. My name's Danny, so Danimal used to be my gamer tag. I played on that for like all of H2, H3. Then around like high school, I stopped playing like around Reach and Halo 4 because nobody really liked those Halos that much. I mean, Reach was decent, but Halo 4 I just hated, so I stopped really playing and really got like had like a spiritual awakening and got into meditation and learned about like breath work and basically how we're all spiritual beings and we all have actual energy flowing through our body and how to basically just focus our thoughts into being more productive as a human being. Um, but yeah, so I really got into spirituality once I kind of like stopped playing Halo for like 2 years,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why my friends gave me the nickname Danchi. They're like, "Oh, it's Danny, and you have chi in your body. We're gonna call you Danchi." But yeah, it was kind of a funny story. So that's how I got my gamer tag, and yeah, basically played Halo 2, loved watching montages, got into the competitive scene, played quite a bit of Halo 3, and then yeah, like I said, for Reach and Halo 4 stopped playing. Then when Infinite dropped, one of my good buddies, Shane, told me to get an Xbox again and start playing. And so yeah, I got really into Infinite. Ended up eventually upgrading from my Xbox to a PC, and that's what really, really got me into montaging and hitting clips. But yeah, I've basically been playing Infinite since it dropped. Been putting out shorts and clips and montages on YouTube. But yeah, I've just always loved Halo. Been obsessed with it since I was like 10 years old. When my mom first got me an Xbox and Halo 2 and Xbox Live for Christmas, it has just been history ever since. Yeah, creating content, hitting clips, making montages is the real passion of mine.
Yeah, man, that's awesome, dude. Like, I feel like sometimes when you say this shit, it's like, that's pretty much what I was thinking too, right? Because I got away from this. I got away from Halo 2 around like Halo 4. Like
Yeah.
I barely played it at all. I barely played Halo 5. I went and did, personal shit, for a
Hmm.
little bit, and
Yeah.
then kind of came back with like MCC. but
Yeah.
kind of on and off, and then I've played a little bit of Infinite as well.
I should have came back for MTC. I don't even know what I was doing at that time, but I definitely should have because I love Halo 2. Halo 2 is my favorite Halo, so anything that has Halo 2 on it. I think I would probably like Halo 2 Cartographer a little bit more though, because is in MCC, can you still like do all the glitches?
Yeah, you can. I mean, it's kind of sacrilege because obviously I play with like the MCC Halo 2 guys, but
Yeah.
I originally used to play on Cartographer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Cartographer.
yeah,
Probably, yeah.
yeah.
I just
And
like the original version.
yeah, Cart feels a little bit better because it's obviously like a fan project, so it's a little bit more modified.
Yeah.
Whereas Halo 2 MCC is kind of just like the hired gun port of Halo 2 for Vista without a lot of changes. So it's
Yeah.
actually it's still sort of buggy. Like the spawn system's different. It is much better than when it came out though.
Oh, for
And I don't
sure.
want to badmouth it too much, man, because it's like what I've gone to all
No,
these lands
yeah.
for, right? It's still a pretty good
Yeah.
game. It's still a pretty good game. I
No,
don't.
dude, you guys are
Yeah.
insane. Cult Zodiac. I didn't like I always knew about Hyena and I've always seen your guys' symbol, Cult Zodiac. I didn't know really much about you, but like I said, I always knew about Hyena and I knew that he always repped that he's been repping that org for a while. And yeah, bro, looking on Twitter recently, I'm seeing you guys winning fucking first place, first place, first place, first place. All these Halo 2 fucking worlds, bro, lands. Like
Yeah.
it's insane, bro.
Yeah. No, it's been cool. Doing that kind of stuff. Um, I do.
And
I do wish that like the scene was like a little bit bigger, right?
oh,
Because
for
I
sure,
was so
for
young
sure.
that I missed kind of playing Halo 2 on LAN a million years ago. But I am happy that there's been stuff to do, even if it's
Dude, yeah, it's cool that they're
a little bit
even
smaller. Like I just enjoy being in the scene. That's it. Like
yeah,
I
it's
never wanted to be a pro or anything like that. That's why I'm the coach, right? And I'd like to do
yeah,
these videos and stuff. But I like being in the scene, even if it's kind of just like a small side thing to Infinite, right? I
for
think it's
sure,
fun.
bro. It's cool that they're even still hosting Halo 2, Halo 3.
That's kind
Like
of
it's
what I
cool that
thought. Yeah.
the HES does that. That still
Yeah.
throws those side events. It's like they know that the OGs like still grind those games, and they're like, "Here, bro, we'll give you guys a tournament," which is awesome. But
Yeah, I give Halo Studios a lot of shit, but I do actually think that it's cool that they recognize that, or maybe like Esports Engine or ESL recognize that,
mhm.
and they've been willing to do that, because a lot of like big names in the space, or I should big for like the couple thousand people that play each
Yeah,
respective game on MCC, but like Invincible and Obnoxious, Bob the
yeah,
Demigod,
those are really good
Go
Infinite players as well.
yeah, Goatman and Repentancy. Even if you think of side tournaments, Zuzi and Yuzi from Infinite finally winning the
Yeah,
2v2s. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like, they're,
dude,
yeah,
that was sick how you guys got nated to
yeah,
team on your squad for Worlds. That was pretty
yeah.
sick.
Yeah,
Oh
so
yeah,
it's cool that you like Infinite, though, because I played a little bit of Infinite right when it came out, and I came back to it later. Um,
it's better. It's better
it's so much
now.
better now. It's kind of at maybe the Halo Reach level. Some people say it's better. Some people say it's
Yeah,
worse. I don't really think it's quite a Halo 3 or anything, but
no, no.
but or let alone Halo 2, right? Like I think
Yeah,
that's the
yeah.
highest of the hierarchy. But no,
Are
it's
you
cool that
better
you're
at Halo
enjoying that.
3 or Halo? I'm sorry, no, are you better at Halo 2 or Halo 3? Because when I met you at what was that? HCS Arlington. You were playing in that Halo 3 side event. So is your main Halo 3 or is it Halo 2?
Um, okay,
Or do you
this
just
is
do
gonna
a
be
or do you
this is gonna be interesting
just
to
do a
get into.
mixture of
So
both?
I actually got a medical condition pretty much where I can't like sit to practice for a million hours. Like I can sit to play for like one tournament or whatever, but
Mm-hmm.
I can't like play that much to keep my level up.
Yeah.
So my main game, I suppose, would have been like Halo 3 and Halo Reach, because that's what I ended up playing a lot of. My favorite one is
Yeah.
Halo 2, but I'm not really good enough to play on like a Halo 2 team. So for Halo
Yeah.
2, I'm always like the coach or somehow involved with the team. So I like to,
Yeah.
I can be in the game, I can give timings, I can say what to do, but my level's not as good as Goatman or Berserker or
Oh,
Repentancy or whatever,
yeah. It
right? So
definitely seems like when I first met you though that you're very knowledgeable about the game, you know?
yeah, yeah.
Like
Like I'm actually good enough at Halo 3 that I could have played I could play with whoever, right? But the
Yeah.
thing is, I'd be like, the worst player on a good team, probably.
Oh,
Like
for
the
sure,
worst
for
player
sure.
on like a
No,
team
dude,
that could
bro,
win.
the competition at those HCS events or just any events in general is absolutely insane, bro. This is what I think is like the biggest difference that I always notice when I go to those HCS events, like especially like the 4v4s or the 2v2s, is like everyone is good at the game, bro. But it's something else when you can be coordinated and like have amazing teamwork. Like that's hard to get four players all be on the same page, hold setups, fucking, and have like good syncing and good teamwork. Like
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
it's definitely underestimated, bro. That's a hard thing to do. I remember back in Halo 3, like Halo 2, I was more into the montage scene, but like Halo 3 is when I really got into the competitive scene and I wanted to be a MLG pro and all that. We'd always bring all of our TVs and set them up in my friend's basement and so we could play right next to each other and look at each other's screens and shit. But
Hmm.
yeah, the hardest thing for us was always just getting everyone all on the same page. Like it's extremely underestimated. I have a quite a bit of respect for the pros just because like you have to adapt your play style to what your teammates are doing. Like you can't always do what you want to do on the map. Like you got to read the map. Like who's up?
Yeah.
Can I push over here? Can I push over there? Where are they spawning? So not only is Halo you got to have skill, you also have to have like quite a bit of high IQ gameplay. You know what I'm saying? To be at the top.
Yeah,
So
you gotta have good awareness. Yeah.
tons of respect to them.
Yeah, that's why I enjoy being like a coach or being on the comms or whatever, because I think I'm like pretty good at that. But things like sniping no scopes and things, I'll leave
Yeah,
that. I'll leave that to the pros. You know what I mean?
yeah, some people just have better hand-eye coordination. Some people
For
are better
sure,
at
for
other
sure.
things. That's just how it is.
Yeah. So, you've been to a few of the HCS lands. We'll just talk a little bit about that or whatever
All right.
before we get into some different subjects or whatever. Like, is there a favorite event that you went to, anything like that?
So yeah. So I went to three HCS events during Infinite. I wish I could have got to go to more, but yeah, I went to three HCS events. The first one I went to was HCS Kansas City. That was in season 1. Then I went to 2023 Worlds when FaZe Clan won.
Hmm.
And then like I said I went to 2025 Arlington where I met you and a couple other people. But I'd say my favorite LAN was probably Kansas City. I don't know what it was about season 1, bro, but I think that's when there was still like a shit ton of hype around the game, bro. Those events in season 1 were like insane. I feel like season 2, season 3, season 4 started to die off just a little bit, but like dude, the energy and like just everything at that Kansas City event was insane. I don't even remember who won Kansas City. I'm trying to remember. I think it was Cloud9 because that's when they were winning all the time. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Cloud9 when Renegade was still on Cloud9. But I remember KCP, the Kansas City Pioneers. It was like Talik, Soul Snipe. Who else was on that team? Talik, Soul Snipe, Druck, and then I forget who their fourth was. But it was crazy because they were like the hometown team because we were in Kansas City. Everyone was like, KCP, KCP. It was fucking, dude, it was crazy, bro. There was like a shit ton of people there. But yeah, just the energy. That was probably my favorite event just because the
Hmm.
energy in that place was amazing. Then it would probably be Worlds 2023 when FaZe won. Just because it's Worlds, you know what I'm saying? And then Arlington. But Arlington was also a sick event too because I got to go there with my org that I was on. I was a content creator for Eclipse. And that's when I obviously met you.
Yeah.
You were playing in the Halo 3 side event versus a couple of players. Well, not pro players from my org, but just like managers and content creators and stuff.
Oh yeah,
But
when I saw that it was like the management team and shit, because that's like me too. I was like, all right, I probably can't beat your real team, but like the
no,
coach
yeah,
versus the management team, like
it
this
was
is a fair fight. This is a fair
it,
fight here.
it was hilarious. You guys were talking so much shit back and forth.
Oh
What's his
yeah,
name? What's his name? What's his name on your squad was like, hey, talk shit to us because it makes it better or something like that. And you guys
Yeah,
just started.
Critical
It was
ML.
hilarious.
Yeah, shout out to
Yeah.
Critical ML. I've talked to him now at Worlds and a bunch of stuff. That guy is really cool. He's better than he gets credit for because he kind of ended up in the same situation as me a few times. Like that team was just random people that I grabbed in line. Like it was the
Yeah.
last team to sign up. I was like, you guys, like, believe me, I'm actually really good. Like, just get me. Like, we'll get like third or something, and we did. But
Oh yeah. Do you guys' jerseys or I don't think you guys all had a jersey on. I know you had a jersey
that wasn't
on.
that wasn't a real like Zodiac team or whatever. I was just there
It,
just for vacation, so I
no,
was wearing
yeah,
my
I know.
uniform. Yeah,
Yeah, it was sick, bro. I love those jerseys.
I designed those actually. Like
No,
I didn't do the original Zodiac.
is it like is it like hieroglyphics or is that like
So
a
yeah, it's all the symbols and stuff that the Zodiac killer used. But I
oh
try to have
shit, that's crazy.
but I try to also bring in like astrological elements as well. Yeah,
That's
there's also
dope. I'm
some
really
Easter eggs
into
and stuff.
astrology. Are you into astrology?
A little bit. Like I'm familiar with like
I'm
daily
not like
rulers and
deep.
things.
I'm not like
Yeah,
deep into it like where I can read your whole birth chart or anything like that. But
yeah.
what's your zodiac sign? What's your
Uh,
sun sign? Like what's your birthday?
I was born in late December. I
Late
was born like right
December.
between two. I always forget. I think I'm
I
like
think that's Pisces. Pretty sure that's Pisces. I'm an Aquarius. But yeah, astrology's neat. I believe in that shit. My sister is really into it. She can like, if you type in your birth date and you know like right around the time you were born, she can calculate all that shit and she'll pull up like your whole birth chart and tell you
mhm.
a whole bunch of shit about yourself. Like, and I'm not gonna lie, some of the astrology shit, it's like it's so vague that like it could apply to anyone, like some of the shit you see online. But if you actually go on like a real legit website or go to a real legit astrologer that studies that shit and you have them read your birth chart, you'll find out some like deep introspective shit that you never even realized about yourself.
Yeah, for sure.
That shit's
I think
interesting.
that stuff is interesting. I think for astrology, I'm almost more into like really early like divination ideas or like astrotheology and stuff like that, where
Yeah.
based on like specific patterns, there are going to be like certain events that happen.
Hmm.
I never really got so into zodiac signs or like horoscopes or anything like that. Not because I
Okay.
don't think that they're not that I don't think that they're valid. I actually do,
Oh no, for
but just
sure.
obviously where I was growing up, right? Like 2000s suburbs, they were kind
Yeah,
of distorted, right?
for
Like very
sure, for
distorted.
sure.
So that's something
Um,
that I want to like maybe loop back on, but I just that is a blind spot for me. I'll just
No,
be
yeah,
totally honest.
there's actually like a science to it. Check it
Yeah.
out, bro. Astrology's really interesting. But let me ask you this: Are you? So I don't meditate as much as I used to. But do you meditate at all, or do you
Uh,
believe in meditation? Or
yeah, I think it's actually a very useful practice, provided that um, you can handle it and that you don't get into it too quickly.
yeah,
I think
yeah,
that
I agree
perhaps a
with that.
lot of people just think that it's like universally positive, but I think that you can almost like think yourself into injuries if you dive into it too much and maybe you
For
don't
sure.
have enough of like a foundation. I didn't ever think that it was like crank stuff or anything, but maybe I didn't think too deeply about it when I
So
was younger,
so
and I got more into it as I started to research what you might call like occult subjects, like esoteric
yeah,
subjects.
yeah. I'm really interested in shit into shit like that.
Yeah, so I kind of got into it when I started to like research occult ideas, maybe when I was
Yeah,
in my late teens, and I got into what you might call like more advanced meditation, like gazing
yeah.
or proper like
Where you
ritual
stare at
practice.
where
Yeah,
you can like light a candle, stare at the candle flame, shit like that.
look at a
I was
face
into
for 4 hours, right? And see, so some people see that as like a legal high, let's say, where you see it change. To me,
yeah,
you certainly could see it that way. That's like a valid way to view it, but also um, you could perhaps see it as like your senses being flawed and like unable to perceive things, and you're gaining a
yeah.
kind of discipline that way as well.
Hmm. So this is what one of the main things that meditation did for me.
Hmm.
I still meditate from time to time, not as much. I used to meditate like every night before I went to sleep for like 30 minutes at least. Sometimes a little bit during the day. But the thing what meditation really does, this is what it does, is it makes you more conscious. So what conscious means is you're just more aware. So let's say let's say you have an addictive mindset. Let's say you just love to eat junk food. You can't stop sleeping in. Basically what meditation does is it makes you more mindful. So you're more mindful of your thoughts. So let's say you're thinking a negative thought. You're not going to let that control you and ruin your whole day and feed into that. You're going to be able to realize it like, oh shit, I'm thinking negative. Let's switch this thought pattern. Or like, let's use this for instance. Have you ever like, has something really bad ever happened to you in your day and you just let it ruin your whole day? Like the rest of the day, you're just pissed off. You don't have to be like that. Even though that bad event happened, it's called the catch and release method. Just feel pissed off and then just let it go, bro. Some people just will let that shit consume them and ruin their whole day. But yeah, it just makes you more conscious of your thoughts, feelings, and just actions in general. Like I was the most disciplined that I've ever been in my life when I was meditating. Um,
Yeah,
it
for sure, man.
it really and it also puts you more this is the thing that kind of scared me off just a little bit from it is when you meditate. So in between or in the center of your brain, not in the exact center of your brain, but you've heard of this, it's called your pineal gland.
Yep. Yeah, yeah.
So it's basically the nickname for it is the third eye. So when you're born and when you first come into this world, your pineal gland, your third eye, is not calcified. It's not calcified. So that's why when you're really young, and that's why when you're really young, like when your mom shuts off the lights and you go to sleep at night, you feel like you see shit in the dark and you're getting like haunted by like were you ever afraid of the dark when you were a kid?
I was never afraid of the dark, but I know exactly what you're talking about. Where,
No, yeah, you're
yeah,
more in touch with the spiritual side of life when you are younger, and that is because your pineal gland is uncalcified. Now, the more city water that we drink and the more that we brush our teeth with fluoride toothpaste, fluoride calcifies your pineal gland. So that basically cuts you off from the spiritual realm. So basically, that's why when you're younger, how about this? You ever notice when you're younger, you have like insane dreams, bro? Like insane dreams. Like you'll have like dude, I used to have the craziest nightmares, bro, when I was younger. It was it was bad. But yeah, you're the reason why you dream more is because your pineal gland isn't calcified. You could still obviously when we're older, we could still dream, but your dreams are a lot more vivid and crazy when you're younger. And that's
yeah.
because your pineal gland is not calcified yet. So in our toothpaste there's fluoride, in our water there's fluoride. All the kind of different type of like if you just look on the back of a label of some food or a drink nowadays, you'll see there's like a laundry list of different chemicals and shit that they put in it. And not all of that shit, but a good amount of it calcifies our pineal gland, and so that's why a lot of adults are kind of just like not gonna say they're soulless, but they're kind of just like AI robots. You know what
For
I'm
sure,
saying?
man.
Like they
Yeah,
have they have like no soul. They're just like walking around like zombies.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, that will really hinder you. So yeah, when we're older, our pineal glands get calcified and we kind of get cut off from that spiritual realm. So when I really got into meditation, I started researching all that stuff. I literally stopped using fluoride toothpaste. So there's toothpaste that you can buy that still cleans your teeth and works really well, but there's no fluoride in it. I stopped using fluoride toothpaste. I was meditating every day. I even stopped eating meat. Like I literally just went like I was like, dude, I'm just going full out on this shit for like 2 or 3 years. It was yeah, it was like 3 years, and yeah, I was able to open up my pineal gland. Like I was connected to the spiritual realm. I would have experiences at night. I would see shadow beings. It's very real. It's very real, and a lot of it's just hidden from the general public because not a lot of people could handle that, bro. If everyone's pineal gland was wide open, bro, like like people would be kind of freaking out. But yeah, it's hidden from the public. And so yeah, I was getting into real into meditation, and then that's when I like found out I was doing some research online, and I found out about astral projection, and that's where you get into such a deep meditative state to where you're able, your spirit, your being, your soul is actually able to leave your physical body. Um, and it's a real thing. I experienced it. It's very freaky, and I honestly wouldn't even recommend that practice because I don't even think it's that safe because I didn't really know what I was doing, and I feel like if you leave your being without protection, you can get like different type of entity like attachments and shit. So I wouldn't really mess with astral projection. But yeah, meditation is definitely a very good spiritual practice.
For sure.
I actually think that meditation has helped me with Halo and montaging, to be honest, because a lot of people when they hit a triple kill, overkill, kill tack, they're shaken, like they can't like stay focused. I feel like meditation has kind of helped me stay calm in the fire, if that makes sense.
For
You know what I'm
sure.
saying?
For sure. Yeah. I was actually gonna say, I think that maybe I went on like a similar path, not exactly the same as you, to do with meditation. Just on because I think that maybe for a lot of people who are not initiated into this kind of thing, we maybe just like jumped in super deep. But with
Yeah,
what
yeah,
Danchi,
yeah, yeah.
which is fine, which is fine. I just want to double back and make a little point. So with what Danchi was saying, and to do with how you can stop emotions from controlling you throughout the day. One of the most basic types of meditation that you can do is just try to like be still, just sort of
Hmm.
like think about nothing, just sort of like probe your emotions until you're in a state of balance, right? That's one of the most
Yeah.
basic exercises that you can do. And there's a very
Medit
good interview with Eric Dubay from a long time ago where he talks about how when you're doing that process, if there's a thought that keeps popping up to you, it's not that you're trying to banish that thought. You sometimes have to, but also you might have to just like think about that until you've thought it all the way through, and then you can let that thought or that emotion or whatever, like you can kind of like dismiss it, or you can work towards
hmm
dismissing it so that way you're back in a state of balance. And that's what I would recommend to normal people. You shouldn't necessarily, oh, I listened to Danchi and Reaching Eight talk on this podcast, and they said that meditation is a good idea, so I'm going to go right into 6 hours of gazing, and I'm going to start testing reality like Howdy Mikowski until the ground flows like water. You know what I mean? Don't do that. Just start at
Yeah,
the
start
at the
slow.
basics. Yeah, that's what I think.
Med
Danchi, that's roughly what you were talking about when you said like how you can
Yeah.
use it to regulate your emotions.
Yep, yep. And meditation doesn't have to be where you're sitting in the lotus position going, um, it doesn't have to be all that. Like literally meditation could be you just sitting somewhere in nature and just looking at stuff, but you just want to clear your mind. Now, the thing that makes when you say what makes it so powerful is because that they say that's basically the sound of the universe. That's what they say, and the reason why that's so powerful is because when you go um it actually vibrates your pineal gland in your brain, and it'll help decalcify it, and it just brings you deeper into meditation. But yeah, meditation is really important for just being a mindful human, and also I feel like it just helps with empathy also because like it's like you're just more conscious of people's own emotions. You're just a more conscious person in general. Um,
Right
but
on.
yeah, it's definitely some deep shit. It's some really deep shit, and you just got to be careful with it. Just like with everything, like really research it, really know what you're getting yourself into. Because I'm just letting you guys know right now, like the spiritual realm is real. There are spirits. There is these different type of beings out there. Um, I don't know if you've ever back in my teenage years, I don't know if you ever like dabbled around in any psychedelics or anything, but if you ever done any stuff like that, you'll know what I'm talking about. That's kind of like what got me into meditation was psychedelics because like a lot of people can't think outside the box, and when you take um substances like that, it kind of it takes you out of like the programming system mind frame, and you're kind of able to think for yourself.
Well,
If
it's
that
like
makes
what you said,
sense.
man. A lot of people, this isn't a subject that we're going to get onto, but it is interesting. A lot of people do have actual physical issues that stop them from thinking in certain ways, right? It's not only the
Yeah.
pineal gland. People have issues with their gut flora, for instance, which is highly
Mhm.
related to your mood. People have issues with their teeth, which connect
Yeah.
to your brain, right? Which influence their
Yeah.
mood as well. These are all symptoms of modernity, maybe even further back than that. So
Yeah.
for some people, it actually does make sense that they might need some sort of a significant experience that like shakes that framework. And I think for a lot of
Yeah.
people, it is psychedelics. I have taken
Yeah. I have
psychedelic
DM
substances
I
before,
have
but I think I was into this stuff before then. I think I'm kind of one of those people that's always on a lot of DMT or something though, because you're saying like, oh, as a kid you dream like crazy. It's like I dream like crazy, you know. But
Yeah, okay.
I'm largely a vegetarian. The water in my area is not fluorinated. You know what I mean?
That's what
So
I'm saying.
there's
Yeah,
a bunch of
I'm
things there that
sure I'm sure
yeah.
you're connected. But yeah, I got the DMT molecule tattooed on my arm. But yeah, like you
Nice,
said,
nice.
DMT is actually produced naturally in your brain, like when you dream and when you meditate, and if you have a near-death experience. So what DMT truly is it's the chemical that takes us to the other side. That's truly what I think. Because if you have a near-death experience, boom, your brain is just flooded with DMT. When you die, boom, your brain is just flooded with DMT. So, like I said, we don't have to talk about this on the actual podcast because it is technically illegal. But that is one thing that really got me into spirituality, bro. Like, and something interesting about DMT is that I was seeing figures that like are known. Like I seen Thoth. Like I seen like
Oh, okay.
Egyptian fucking
Yeah.
hieroglyphs when I smoked DMT. I've seen Aztec shit. I've seen Hindu shit. Like I don't know why. I don't know why, but there's
We
some
can
connection to DMT and like Aztec and Hindu and Egyptian shit. I don't know what it is,
yeah,
but
we can for sure talk about this. I'm not squeamish at all about the subject of psychedelics. Although I'll say that I don't necessarily endorse again people listening to this and then being like, yeah, I'm gonna go make my own DMT with like a
no,
pressure
yeah,
cooker or whatever. Again, like
no,
be careful. But
100%.
these sorts of things have been used in ritual practice before, and your ancestors
Yes.
weren't idiots, right? Like they're medicines that can be administered. I guess is
Mhm.
my opinion on stuff like that.
For
So
sure.
you were saying that like yours kind of awakening started because of psychedelics. Mine probably didn't, or at least that's how my memory
I'm not
says it.
saying
But
I'm
okay,
not saying that's what made me had my spiritual awakening, but
okay,
I'm saying that's what led me to that path.
right,
I was like,
right
holy
on.
shit, there's more to life than just this physical. I was
Right.
like, wow.
Was there like a specific instance? I guess is where I was trying to go with that question.
A specific instance. Probably when my friend got me to blast off on DMT, that's where
Okay.
you take like that's where you take a big enough hit of DMT to where you literally shoot through a portal and go to another dimension.
Mm.
And that was like kind of blew my mind, and that made me realize like holy shit, we are way more there's way more to life than just what they're telling us. Like there's way more. Um but yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Sorry, keep going on.
no, you're good. I was just gonna say that's what led me to spirituality was really like psychedelics and like something else that I'm gonna say really quick. If some people have ADD, ADHD, some people it's hard for them to stay calm and meditate and just be mindful and sit still. One thing that you can use that really, really, really helped me on my journey to get good at meditating, they're called binaural beats. So what they are is they're frequencies, and you could put headphones on And basically they have all these different type of frequencies, like 528 hertz, 432 hertz. They have a bunch of different ones, but it's basically just these headphones on and their frequencies, and they help you to get into a deep meditative state. I don't know if you ever heard of them before, but it really helps with meditation.
Yeah, I used to be very into researching like massage and other things like that actually as
Yeah.
like healing practices. So as a result, like binaural beats is kind of they've always had sort of a kinship between those sort of communities. I know the
Yeah,
binaural
they
beats
can
have
heal
gotten bigger
you.
now. They've
Yeah,
broken containment. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
pretty
it can
cool
heal you. It's pretty cool how frequencies can heal you. Like Nikola Tesla said, if you want to know the secrets to the universe, think of energy, frequency, and vibration.
for sure.
hmm But yeah, those will definitely help you out.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
no, that's super interesting, man. So we're just gonna we're gonna just bounce all over the place while we talk about this stuff. There's not like a
Okay.
particular chronology, but
Okay.
so you got into spirituality, and I imagine this was like in that down period where you weren't gaming so much, but you
Yeah.
used to
Yeah.
do like a whole different kind of content on your YouTube channel, which I thought was really interesting when I just randomly
Yeah.
saw it the other day because I was like, holy shit, like this guy knows what's
Not
up
that.
when I
Yeah.
saw what
Not
you were
that many
doing.
people.
Yeah.
Not that many people talk about that shit.
Yeah,
So.
so what was like your main idea when you were doing the whole like Danchi spirituality thing?
So I basically just wanted people to realize that there's more to life than the physical, and that I wanted people to help heal themselves of all the fucking trauma and bullshit that the government and just life and just like big pharma and just all the bullshit that they put on us. Um I really just wanted to show people that spirituality is a real thing, the spirit realm's real. You can meditation like why do you think all these monks and like people in India dedicate their lives to this religion? Like I'm not saying you need to be a Hindu or a Buddhist, but think about why would they be sitting still in a position like that for hours? Like there's obviously something to it. And I really feel like meditation can truly, 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 truly help people. Like I said, there's a bunch of different types of meditation you could do. But yeah, I just really I found out about all that stuff and I was just like, holy cow, like I was just kind of like amazed. I was like, dude, we've been lied to about so much shit in our life, and I really just wanted to talk about it because not that many people talk about it. I mean, like I said, this knowledge is hidden, and now that we're coming into the age where technology is prevalent and everyone has a smartphone and everyone has a computer, and you could put a video out and it can reach a bunch of people. I wanted to talk about it, like that alcohol video that you watched of mine. I don't drink alcohol. I'm not saying anyone that does drink alcohol is a scumbag or anything, obviously not. But if you watch my video on my channel, the etymology of alcohol, alcohol is actually it's pronounced algul. It's actually the reason why they call it spirit is because literally when you drink that shit, I'm not saying when you just have like one or two drinks and get a little buzz, like, oh yeah, you're just feeling a little good. I'm talking about when you have like multiple drinks, multiple drinks, and you get into a state where you're almost like not blacked out, but like you're not acting like yourself. You're doing weird shit. You're fighting with people. You're trying to start fights. Like, dude, a lot of people murder people when they're drunk.
Hmm.
Um, I just truly feel that when you are drinking, and this could be with any drug, to be honest, but I really feel like it's really prevalent with alcohol. You can be like semi-possessed or be influenced by spirits. That's just my personal opinion. That's why have you ever had anyone drink and like their girlfriend's like, dude, you're totally not acting like yourself. Like, who is this person? I have no idea who this is. And they're just like still freaking out and going crazy. Like, yeah, I feel like people can become oppressed by spirits when they drink alcohol. And it can happen with other substances too. But a lot of this stuff is hidden in plain sight. Like I said, the best place to hide something from someone is right in front of their face. They literally call it spirits.
Yeah,
Like
I totally.
why would they call it spirits? Like
Yeah,
um
I totally agree with that on alcohol. I don't drink either. and I haven't for quite a long time. But and I don't necessarily know if I entirely agree with this, but this is a very interesting thing that I heard the other day. Um, Weirdly enough, the guy who used to do game reviews, the irate gamer, became like a
Yeah.
ghost hunter or something,
Okay.
which I thought was crazy. And I checked out one of his videos, and in it he talks about alcoholism. He talks about how
Mhm.
um, like negative forces, so what you might call like spirits or energy vampires, depending on what terminology you like to use for spirituality.
Yeah.
They don't have physical bodies. They can't get drunk,
Exactly.
but they can drink through you, or they can compel you to drink. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you don't want to let them.
Mhm.
So that's
No,
kind of how
yeah,
I see it.
and that's just the thing. A lot of people are they're just so brainwashed by society that all there is the physical. All there
Hmm.
is the physical. And there's so much more. Like the thing is what do they say? We can only see like a certain percentage of the light spectrum,
Yep.
and like we can only hear a certain amount of sound, and like our bodies can only pick up on certain shit. Doesn't mean it's not there. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah. Like what you were saying
definitely does not mean it's not there.
about psychedelics and DMT and stuff. I think that everyone has a moment, and it might be, um, realizing the truth of some kind of a conspiracy, or realizing there's something more. So it might not be necessarily like a drug or like a crazy experience, but I think everyone has like a lifting the veil moment who gets into spirituality, right?
Mhm.
Where it's like how before people could see infrared light, right? You'd never see that, right? But it existed. And then
Yeah.
when infrared goggles are invented, you put it on and it's like, holy shit, there's this whole other dimension to reality that I didn't see before.
Yeah, bro. It's like
Everyone
once you
has
figure
that
out
has
one
that moment,
thing,
and that wakes you up.
yeah, it's like once you figure out one thing, you kind of are like, "Oh, damn." And then you're like, "Boom, boom, boom, boom. Now I see all this
Hmm.
shit." And I'm like, "Whoa, we've been lied to, like for sure." Um, but yeah, the occult and spiritism and esotericism, and I'm super interested in all that shit. And yeah, I just think that you obviously have to be careful with it because you are going to be coming into contact more with the spiritual realm. Not saying that it's going to be negative, not saying that it's going to be positive. I think you can come into contact with positive beings and negative beings
Hmm.
when you kind of open your pineal gland and get into the spiritual realm. But yeah, you just got to be careful. I kind of backed off on it a little bit just because like it was getting a little too real, and I was like, "Holy shit!" I kind of want to go back to normal, but like, yeah,
Yeah.
this shit's real.
Yeah. So
It's definitely real.
are there any other rituals that you used to do? So we talked about meditation. We've talked
Yeah,
about
meditation, astral projection.
yeah.
Let me think. Oh yeah, this I'm not gonna say it. This is just something that I really believe in, which is technically an occult practice too. The Taoists, the Chinese back in the day, Japanese believe in this. It's called well, they don't call it this, but this is what we basically call it in America, semen retention.
Hmm.
So basically, the thought is that our semen can obviously create a child. You know, with when it hits an egg, it can create a child. So our semen is life force energy. That is called our jing. That is called our chi. That is our energy that flows through our body. Um, and basically, the more that you waste that, the more that you're constantly, I'm not saying it's bad to have sex. Of course, have sex. I'm just saying, the more that we waste it, and like, let's say you have a porn addiction, or let's say, you know what I'm saying, you just wasted a lot. You are gonna be severely, how do I want to say it, hindering yourself in life. Um, your testosterone goes down. A lot of your trace minerals are in your semen get wasted. You have less connection to the spiritual realm. Like, have you ever heard of UFC fighters and boxers saying don't have sex the night before the fight?
Yeah. Yeah. Of
You ever
course.
heard of that? That is a real thing because you totally like it hinders you. Like basically when you just think of it like this. Semen is life. It's life force energy. The more that you hold in, the more life and energy and just drive and motivation and willpower and just being a respectful man you're gonna be. That's just how it is. Like, you've never met a dude who watches porn 24/7 and be like a stand up, like, respectful guy. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
But yeah, that I really believe in that, and that is another name for semen retention is called brahmacharya, and that's what I don't know if you've seen that channel, or not that channel, that video on my channel with that monk that I talked to, that he was actually a Hare Krishna monk.
Hmm.
But yeah, he was the one who introduced me to that, and that has really changed my life. I'm not gonna lie. If you guys ever, there's a couple other names for it. Like, some people call it, like, no, like, something going on right now, like No Nut November, or like some people they call it No Fap. But yeah, basically, you want to conserve your energy. Like, when you have sex, there's something called tantra. You literally just slow down a little bit and you have sex, but you don't go past the point of no return. You basically sit in that, that you basically just sit in that good feeling, like, good feeling, and you just ride it out, but you don't release. Because if you ever notice, when you release, why do you think you feel so tired and drained, and like the life just got sucked out of you? Like, have you ever heard, like, when they call women, like, oh, she just sucked the soul out of me?
Yeah, yeah.
That's actually literal. Like, she literally did just suck a part of your soul out. Like, not saying it, she really did, but like, it's kind of
Energetically, yeah,
true.
yeah. Like you feel more
Energetically,
tired and
yeah,
stuff. Yeah, yeah. That's
yeah,
why a lot
yeah,
of people
bro.
get addicted to like jerking off before they go to sleep or whatever. I think
Yeah, because
that's
it makes you
pretty.
tired.
Yeah, it's pretty fucked up that that's so like normalized, and I don't even want to say like
Yeah,
youth culture, but like people in high school and shit do that, and it's considered normal, right? Whereas if you think of like
yeah,
classical society or Eastern teachings or whatever, that's not advisable.
that's
Not that no
way
one ever
against.
did it, but I'm just saying like
Yeah.
they would try not to as much as possible.
Think about this. Why is almost like 90% of porn free? Why do you think?
Yeah.
Because when you got, all right, think about it. Females and men, right? So if they want to truly stop us and hinder us from finding out the truth, and just like not being in control, them being in control over us, like, they're going to want to stop the men, because most likely the men are going to be the ones that are going to take shit over. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah,
So
physically impose themselves. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So they want to make us docile and weak as possible. So they're going to put as much porn out there. They're going to put as much sexualized shit. They're going to try to pervert us. They're going to try to make men into women, be feminine. And I'm not saying I'm like transphobic or anything like that, but I truly think God made us all a certain way for a reason. Obviously, that's just the way I think. But yeah,
Yeah. I think that's an interesting idea that I mean, to use a weird vernacular, I think that people are all like different sorts of weapons to combat negative force, or at least like restore a type of balance. And you
yeah.
have to kind of figure out which one you are, if it's like physical, intellectual, whatever, right? That's
Hmm.
not to say that you should like build a bomb or something, but yeah, you should try to exude good energy, or at least try to leave things in sort of like a balanced state, or restore sort
Yeah.
of a balanced state. And I think a lot of things are distractions from that. I think a lot of those things are actually like battles, and obviously your enemy's not going to tell you like, hey, you're about to have this big battle that matters a lot, right? Why would
Yeah.
you, if
Yeah.
you think of like a military situation? They want to do it as like an ambush, or maybe you don't even notice that the battle's happened and you've left the
That's what
field
I'm
of combat and they
saying.
just take the territory, right?
Yeah, you don't even
Yeah.
know. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
yeah, for sure.
but
Yeah, so you talked about that Hare Krishna monk. I did watch that video. It was really interesting. How
yeah.
did you end up bumping into him, if you don't mind
So
me
I ended
asking?
up I ended up bumping into him. We have a music festival that goes on probably like an hour and a half south of where I live. It's called Summer Camp. It's usually like a 3-day long festival. I usually go like it happens once a year. I'll go like camp out, pitch a tent, have fun for 3 days. I haven't been in like 5 or 6 years, but I used to go a lot. And yeah, he just came up to me. He was walking around. He had a little Hare Krishna book,
Hmm.
and I was like, "Oh shit, what is that?" And he started explaining it to me, and I just thought it was really, really interesting. And then he gave me this card, and on the card it had a Hare Krishna mantra. I don't remember exactly how it went, but it was something like Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. I'm pretty
Hmm.
sure that's how it went, and it's like he was telling me like kind of like the same thing what I said with the Om. It's not about what you're saying. Like it's not about Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. It's about the vibration that you're giving off when you're while you're saying it. Is what he was explaining to me. And yeah, the dude like that was just like really interesting because I've never met like an actual monk before, and he was like, bro, like I had so much respect for him because like, dude, he was just like the most disciplined, calm, like person you would ever meet in your life. Like you know how some people in America like we have a little bit of social anxiety. We have like we can't get our thoughts together sometimes. Like he was just like so zen, and it felt like he didn't have to even think about what he was saying before he said it, and he was just like just in flow state like forever. Like
Yeah,
basically like I don't know, man. He just seemed like when you come into contact with a person like that, you can feel it. Because, like I said, life is more than this physical. Like, you can feel people's energy. And he was just like a really, really disciplined, um, inspiring person to me.
for
And so,
sure, man.
yeah, I went up to his, I went up to his, the temple. They had a temple up in Chicago, a Hare Krishna temple. I went up there one time because he wanted me to come up and I'm not gonna lie, like it's not like a religion like I would devote myself to like 1,000%, but I do believe in like their practices. Um, but yeah, it was pretty neat. It was pretty neat, and that kind of like helped me along in my spiritual way because like when you're learning about this stuff, it's kind of nice to have like a guru or someone that can like help lead you along. So
Right, right.
that's that's what he kind of was for me. But yeah, his name was Acharya. He was a pretty cool guy.
Is there anyone else that's interesting that you've run into just by sort of being in this sphere, or anything else like that, like weird chance encounters or anything?
I don't think so. No, not when it comes to spirituality. But what do you think about I just remember this. I was gonna say this earlier, but I forgot. So I've noticed with do you believe in manifestation? Like if you truly like think about something and work towards it, like you can manifest it. Like that's just how life works. And I feel like I feel like this to me personally, this is just me personally, when I'm not releasing all the time, I feel like I have more manifestation power and I can like create my reality more,
Yeah.
basically. Because I always notice when like I feel like I'm about to have like a manifestation breakthrough, I get a lot of synchronicities. So I don't know if you ever heard of synchronicities. I don't know if you ever have these, but basically if you get on semen retention, start holding in your life force, or if you get really into meditation, um, the universe or God or whatever you want to call it will start sending you signs. Like you'll look at the clock, it'll be at 11:11. You'll say, "Yo, I just had a dream about a red car," and you'll talk about it to your friend, and then one will drive by on the road, and like
Yes. Yeah.
the universe will just start sending you signs. Like it's crazy, bro. And I've noticed I get a lot of that on semen retention, and I just feel like in general, like I'm not saying this is true or false, but I'm just saying in general to me, I feel like I'm almost favored more by the universe when I'm not releasing all the time.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion.
It might be like a heightened state of awareness where you notice it more. It also could be
Yeah,
a bunch of other things too. But I think
yeah.
that I think it's all just sort of like a matter of perspective, if I'm being honest. Like
True,
I
true.
suppose that I do believe in manifestation in similar terms to you, where you're kind of like imposing sort of like a will
Yeah,
on reality, and if your will is stronger, then you can manifest something more important.
like
But
the law of attraction, kind of. Yeah.
I do think that that sort of stuff is, um, it just depends on like the vernacular or like the vocabulary that you want to use when you're explaining these sorts of, I don't want to say inexplainable, but like difficult to define subjects. Because I almost see reality like casting spells. Like that's kind of the vernacular that I like to use. People seem to understand it a lot because we have a lot of fantasy media, but maybe not as much of an understanding of like classical language. But like when you are like casting a spell, when you're manifesting something, like you have sort of a thought, like you visualize what you want to do, and then you have to actually do like the ritual, which is either linguistic, so like saying things maybe even to yourself, or physical actions, right? Like you're performing the action, like the actual component of the spell, and then you receive whatever the reward is, right?
Yeah, you gotta put work into it though. You can't just be like, I'm gonna manifest this and appear out of thin air. Like you have to put action towards it.
So it's so I see it as like, you know, people think of, you know, D&D or whatever, where it's like a mage uses a spell component and moves their arm and it shoots like a fireball. But in the same way, like, you know, if you want to free yourself from, let's say, alcoholism or whatever, you have that thought, you say it to yourself, you perform discipline in all of your battles against having another drink, right? And then eventually you receive the effect that you are free. But we just don't explain it in those sorts of terms. So in that sense, I do definitely believe in manifestation.
No, that's something that I've always
and I might even believe it in a more like literal manifestation sense as well. But the part that I can let's say prove, or that I would, you know, bank on or whatever, or that seems to be true in like not even a metaphorical sense, is what I just explained, where it's like if you just explain it in those sorts of terms, I think everyone can kind of get behind that.
Yeah, no, like that's something that I've always kind of struggled with when it comes to talking about subjects like this and spirituality. It's kind of hard to explain. You got to use the right words and verbiage and shit like that, because a lot of it might go over some people's heads. You know what I'm saying? So it's just something. Yeah, it's kind of hard to explain. But no, yeah, the shit changed my life, man. It really changed my life. I f- I don't even know, man. Meditation is extremely powerful, and the occult and spirituality is, I'm super interested in it. And a lot of people, like, if you come from a Christian perspective, they'll say it's satanic and it's the fucking devil, and like you can't say that for sure. Like you don't know, like it's hidden, and I've never truly dove deep enough into it to truly know. But like I said, there's everyone across the world has different beliefs. So, like I said, to Christians, Buddhism, those peaceful people in India who just meditate all day are satanic. So who knows? Who knows? You know?
Yeah, I think that the church these days has blocked a lot of its inherited esoteric ideas.
Yeah.
In order to maybe protect its congregation. I don't really like to assume like malice, because like we were saying, you know, you could in theory mess yourself up if you get kind of too deep and you're not properly trained. But there are ways that you can explore esoteric or occult subjects as a Christian. I'll just say that.
No, for sure.
And also, I mean, Christianity isn't necessarily like one giant monolith. I think a lot of people are getting into like non-denominational Christianity or like non-exclusive Christianity, where they also will experiment with like pagan elements or Buddhist elements or whatever. There's a lot of crossover between Christianity and like, let's say like the Krishna consciousness part of Indian belief, right?
Yeah.
Like the Bhagavad Gita is in a lot of people's
Bhagavad Gita,
sort of Christian canons, right? Especially with like the Krishna focus that we're seeing more of, which also words similar to like Christus and Christ, right? So there's a lot of crossover between between those sorts of religions, and I don't think people should just dismiss them outright. You know, there are people who are doing weird satanic negative practices in this world, and you should call it out, and I respect Christians who do that for sure. But you know, not everything that has weird runes on it is necessarily satanic, you know?
Yeah,
Just
it's not so black and white like the
yeah,
Christians think, but yeah,
yeah, man, for sure.
100%, 100%. And yeah, I feel like a lot of people, I feel like actually consuming some occult knowledge like is beneficial to a lot of people in our day and age because dude, bro, like this is how they're controlling you. This is how
Yep.
they're suppressing all of us, bro. Like learn the information and you can help I'm not going to say you could free yourself from their grip totally, but you could definitely live a better life if you have more knowledge. Like what I don't remember. Knowledge is power, bro.
You can
It
see the
literally
games that they
is.
play. You can see the games that they play. Like, I'm
Yeah,
not saying that you
knowledge
should.
is power.
If you research occultism, you shouldn't necessarily be like, "Oh, I'm just gonna go join Skull and Bones, and I'm just gonna join." Like, don't do that. You know what I mean? That's not what I'm
First of
telling
all,
you to do.
you're not gonna be able to get in probably, but
Yeah, yeah. Okay, that's a good point. You might be a little bit too old. You might not be from the right bloodline, but
yeah.
yeah, don't necessarily do that. But also, there's some of these organizations using a 13-month calendar. They're still looking at the daily rulers of the stars. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can at least see the games that they play. You can at least recognize their symbols and stuff.
Mhm.
And also, I mean, if you're like a European or something, like your ancestors created a lot of this knowledge and it was taken away, like hidden from you or something.
Mhm.
So you should at least
Yeah.
consider it. It's not all real. It's not all like 100% provable or anything, but it's something that you should consider. Even
sure.
if only because other people think that it's real and they're making plans based on it. You know?
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
that whole idea of like, even if the devil isn't real, there's all these people who are worshiping him and they're acting as if he is, you know? So maybe
Yeah.
I should like know something about their belief
Yeah,
system
you
in
need
order
to
to
learn.
avoid it.
You need
Yeah.
to learn about it to
Yeah.
help not get suppressed by it,
Yeah.
basically.
And
Yeah.
of course, like what we've been talking about for most of this, before we get into like the darker subjects, like there also is like what you might call like white or light side esotericism or occultism or whatever, where it's like more Taoism, Eastern teaching, stuff like that.
Oh, for sure, for
And,
sure.
or even some of the esoteric teachings of European cultures. And this is actually just like very positive, or it's just like a kind of generic tool set that you can use for whatever purpose, right? So that's also something that
Mhm.
you'll end up getting into, even if only by proxy, when you start looking
Yeah,
into
like when
occultism
I
and
say
stuff.
when I say I was into spirituality, I don't
Yeah,
mean like I was doing any type of rituals or fucking
yeah,
blood sacrifice or
of
fucking
course.
anything like that, bro. I was literally just meditating and eating good food
Yeah,
and just researching basically.
yeah. Are you still
Like
into?
everything that I did, your body can do naturally. Right now, if you wanted to astral project and you really wanted to and you really put your will and your drive and like you wanted it, you could do it. It just
Are you,
takes a little bit of practice.
are you still into, just like a random question, but are you still into like veganism or vegetarianism? You mentioned that you were on one of those earlier,
I
one of those
was
sites.
I was vegetarian for like 2 years, and
Okay.
it's cause like when my third eye or when I opened up my pineal gland and I got into all that spiritual stuff, I literally realized I was like, I feel like there's like negative energy that like gets trapped in the meat when they fucking kill the animals and like I don't know, man. Something just like grossed me out. Like it's like when I had my third eye pineal gland open, the only thing that would appeal to me was like fruit and like only shit that's gonna give me like really, really good nutritious value to my
Right.
body, if that makes sense. And like I was just thinking about like meat and I was like, yeah, it doesn't look that gross now, but what do you think the slaughterhouse looked like when they slaughtered that fucking thing? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like it made me think deeper about it, and I was just like, man, I don't even know if I want to do this anymore. But the only thing is I feel like it's a lot easier. I don't know. I just feel like it's a lot easier for a female to be vegetarian and vegan, because the only thing that I'll say that the only downside to it that I'll say that I felt was I just wasn't as like I was definitely more calm. I was definitely more like centered and like focused. Because like if you think about it like the dinosaurs. You know the daddy long necks that just eat
Yep.
plants and grass. They're all calm and peaceful. And then you got the T-Rexes and the Velociraptors that eat other dinosaurs, and they're like fucking running around like fucking savages. Like I feel like that's kind of how it is in life. Like if you eat plants and fruit and you don't eat meat, you're gonna be more calm. You're gonna be less aggressive. You're gonna be Yeah, you're just gonna be more calm and less aggressive. And I just felt like I play some sports and shit now from time to time, and I felt like I was getting a little bit I don't know. I just felt like I needed to go back to eating meat. But honestly, I really liked being a vegetarian. It was nice.
Yeah, I was a really similar situation actually. I was a vegetarian for years, and then I joined the army. And before that,
Yeah.
it's like, well, I need to, like,
You got
yeah,
to
you
have
need
protein.
mass.
You
You got to
got
be
to
more
have
aggressive.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
But yeah, largely I'm a vegetarian. I might eat
yeah.
meat like a few times a week at the very most. Sometimes not for a while.
Honestly,
Yeah.
the only meat that I really only eat, I mean, like I'll eat beef sometimes, but really it's just chicken. Chicken was like the
Mhm.
one thing where it was actually pretty damn hard to give up. I'm like, dude, I don't know what it is about chicken, but I actually love chicken.
Funny enough, at the time that you met me, I actually I told one of my friends that like I'm gonna do like the strictest Lent possible. I'll just clarify, I'm not a Christian. I just thought that it would be fun to do like
Yeah.
it was like no sugar, no meat. Like I didn't
Oh
do
no, dude, fasting.
any
I'm sorry.
oil, nothing.
Fasting is really
Yeah,
crazy, man. You can have really like spiritual experiences from fasting.
yeah, yeah. But so at the time that you met me, like obviously I was traveling, so I was eating like a little bit of like oatmeal and like like some kind of like dried fruit or something,
Yeah.
because I was like, no, I'm not gonna break this. And yeah, you feel super good. On what you're saying about like the different sexes and how diet relates and stuff too, like I think that men are maybe it's more difficult for us to be vegan or vegetarian full time, like we've both experienced that, but men are really good at fasting, especially like intermittent fasting. Like men can
Yeah.
just go on one meal a day, no problem. Men can go days without food and stuff. It kind of
Women need
messes
to
up
eat a little bit
women's
more.
hormones levels and stuff too, right?
Yeah.
So we all have our, like I was saying, like everyone's just a different, maybe weapons wrong, but like everyone's just like a different tool for combating evil forces and restoring balance, and you just
Yep.
kind of have to figure out which one you are,
Yep.
from both your
And I
physical and
truly
mental components.
feel like there is a battle going on between good and evil. Like
Yeah, for sure.
I know 100%. Like
Yeah. So I mean, it's been super interesting talking to you and hearing your perspective.
hell
But
yeah, bro. I think it's awesome that
yeah,
we're kind of you don't meet that many people that know about these deep
yeah,
subjects, so it's awesome, especially someone from the Halo scene,
yeah,
which is niche in itself.
yeah. I've
You
got
know,
just
like
mhm.
it's pretty cool, bro. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I've got a couple more things that I want to ask you just while we're wrapping up here. So you've gotten a little bit away from spirituality, like you mentioned, or at least doing
Yeah.
videos and stuff on it. Is there a particular instance? Like I know you said it was getting too real or whatever.
Yeah. So I had a couple crazy experiences. So probably the one that scared me the most was I was sleeping, and I don't know. I'm not gonna say this was because of meditation or astral projection or any of the spiritual practices. It could have just been. I don't know if you ever heard of sleep deprivation.
Yep.
It could.
Yeah. I was
It
in the
could have.
army, bro. Like I'm
Yeah.
familiar.
It could have just been that. But basically, yeah. I was sleeping one night. I wake up, but I can't move. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And there's two shadow beings flying over top my body, like they're
Damn,
just
man.
circling over top my body, like two shadow beings. And they literally tried to like they literally like I felt them trying to merge with my body, and it was like an electrical shock. It was like electrical energy, and it would and like every time they tried it like two or three times, they would swoop down and try to merge with my body, and it was like an electrical energy, but something was not letting them get in, and then they just flew away. And bro, it was some pretty crazy shit. But yeah, I've had quite a few crazy spiritual experiences with that stuff because I felt like I was getting a little too far deep into it and didn't have enough knowledge. Like I was like still really new to it, and so I just
Right.
kind of backed off it a little bit because I'm like, holy shit, like you could really actually get yourself into some spiritual shit if you go too deep and you don't know what you're
Yeah.
doing.
For sure.
So I just like backed off it a little bit. I'm like, yeah, bro, I need to learn more information before I just deep dive in like this. But
I
it's
think
very real, like very real.
I think that people kind of go in phases and stuff with that, where there's times where you are spiritually like super active, or you're actively like researching a lot, and there's times where you're more dormant, and it can be like years at a time, you know.
Yeah, And
Damn.
see, the thing is even though I had that bad experience, with the spirits or whatever, I was the healthiest and the happiest and like just like the most gleeful I've ever been in my life though. Like
Right.
I'm not even gonna lie about that. Like even though I had like a couple bad spiritual experiences, like bro, I it felt like a good path to take. I just needed to learn more information on it.
Yeah. So, we kind of talked about this a little bit before, but so you're back to doing Halo videos and stuff. Obviously, you did
Yeah.
Halo on PlayStation. You've done some other Frag movies that are really good.
Hell yeah, I
Um,
appreciate it.
yeah, like they're sick, bro. My videos are shit in comparison. Definitely go check out Danchi's stuff if you haven't already.
No,
But
I like your shit though, bro. I
yeah,
appreciate it.
but you said that your interest in spirituality has impacted your Halo content a little bit because you can like stay calm, after you get up to like the overkill or whatever,
Yep,
and your
meditation, yep.
sniper stuff. Has it ever been that any of your interest in Eastern religion, spirituality, that kind of stuff has like more directly impacted your content? Have you ever tried to put like themes or anything in, or does it just sort
Yeah,
of stay separate?
I've always been interested in like colorful, like like Halo on PlayStation, like how if
Yeah,
it
yeah.
has like that alien like vibe. Like I like shit like that.
Okay. Yeah, I got you. Um, Yeah, I think that it always sort of bleeds over. The only reason I'm asking that is because, like, a lot of the people who do um, videos that are in like the Zodiac kind of community, it's like very apparent what we're into. Like my shit's
Oh no,
got
yeah,
fucking like
dude, that
Antarctic shit.
fucking
Hyena's got like the serial
that,
killer in Japanese media.
bro.
Yeah,
Dude, that edit that you set in PT or not PT Frag Movie Arts podcast you
it's
did,
hard as
what was
hell.
it?
Yeah,
Twisted Earnest Eyes,
yeah,
bro.
yeah,
That edit where it shows 343 fucking Halo. Oh
yeah, yeah.
my God.
But like
That
you
shit
can you can
blew
see
my
all the stuff that
mind.
he's into. You know what I mean? Like where
Yeah,
he's into like
yeah.
Latin literature, like classical literature. He fucking hates 343. You know
No,
what I mean? The
yeah,
kind of music he's
it's
into. It's
sick,
all there.
bro.
It's all right there.
I actually love him, bro, dude.
Yeah.
Twisted Earnest Eyes, his fucking edits are awesome, bro.
Yeah, man. He's super crazy. But that's just why I wanted to ask. I don't know. If I ever see anything in one of your frag movies in the future, I'll be like, yeah.
Yeah, you
It's
know where
starting
that
to
came
bleed
from.
in. It's starting to bleed in for sure.
I'm sure it will. I
Yeah.
just need to get more into. I've been trying to like. Obviously, I'm really good at Halo. I'm really good at hitting clips. I just need to get better at like computer shit, like editing and
Right on.
shit like that. I'm just not as tech savvy as a lot of these editors are. I just need to work on it more. I just need to actually get the actual paid version of DaVinci Resolve or something,
Mhm.
and then I'll be able to start dabbling deeper into editing. Editing it, dude, it's pretty hard, bro, in my opinion. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how good of an editor you are, but for me, dude, that shit's like when I get into editing program, I'm like, bro, there's so many options, there's so many settings. Holy shit, what the fuck?
I'm all right.
That's
I can put something
that's what I
together.
think. I
Um,
mean, I could put something together too,
yeah,
but
yeah,
like when it comes to like editing like reflections, like the dude who edited
yep,
Halo on PlayStation or like Xander or like ZentzProductions, like bro, I can never do something like that unless I practiced for a long time.
for sure, bro. Yeah. So speaking of like editors and stuff, I was just gonna ask, like, is there any editors or other content creators, anyone that you want to shout out as we're wrapping up here?
Shout out. Yeah, we'll go with my boy Reflections.
Mhm.
Absolutely beast editor. He actually went to school for editing. He's a beast.
Yeah, he's really good.
Um, yeah, Zents, Twisted, Earnest Eyes. Even though I've never met him, never played with him, I just fucking love his content. We'll go with PTW, guy who interviewed you, the guy who owns Frag Movie Art. Um, Hyena, BlaketheStrafe, which I actually just started talking to BlaketheStrafe like a month ago. He's cool as hell. Um, and yeah, just everyone on Cult Zodiac. Y'all are sick, bro.
All right, that's been Danchi. Thanks for coming on, man.
Hell yeah, bro. Much love.